A pristine kind of setting, whether you're out golfing or out playing soccer. Bethlehem Steel are at home. Goodman Stadium, the site in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, an 11:30 a.m. Eastern time start. Players up much earlier than that, and campers arriving to the stadium as Bethlehem Steel set to take on Indy 11 in a massive Eastern Conference clash. With Matt Stubbington alongside Mike Watts with you, and Bethlehem right now playing at home, feel at home. They feel very comfortable, and the results would tell you that.
They are at home. They are comfortable playing at home. They got an 8-game unbeaten streak at this stadium. It's a great place to play the beautiful game, and they have to make sure that they keep strong at home if they are going to get into the playoff picture. At the moment, they're on the outside looking in. A win today can take them as high as 9th. They've got to make sure they take care of the home field.
A phenomenal goal differential at home, and the only time they did lose, it was to Nashville, and they gave up a red card in the opening 5 minutes and played down a man the rest of the way. Let's talk about players to watch, and Santi Moar plays up the field and can really provide a lot of pressure.
He's great on the outside, can play on the left, can play on the right, and that makes him a nightmare for the outside defenders. He shimmy, he shakes, he drops the shoulder either side of the pitch, and has a great eye for goal. He's really important for what Bethlehem Steel do going forwards.
And could he pin Tyler Pasher in this game? That'd be massive as well for Santi Moar. On the other side, Eugene Starikov scored in 2 games running.
He's in a great run of form, and Indy 11, I hope that will continue. He has great movement in the box, comes in from the outside, very much like Moar does for Indy 11. And he has an eye for goal. He's a very wily player, a veteran, and you can see that he has a great ability to finish the ball into the back of the net too.
They may need it today with Jack McInerney, the former Union man, on the bench for Indy 11. So Bethlehem Steel are home again, taking on an Indy 11 side, trying to salvage their road swing. 2 straight losses. They've lost 3 of their last 4. For Bethlehem, a captive young audience, a chance to go 9 unbeaten at home. Bethlehem and Indy are coming up next.
A trip to Music Fest isn't complete without stopping by the Service Electric tents. Come see firsthand the latest SE Next powered by TiVo technology. Want to be a star in the next Service Electric commercial? Visit our karaoke cave at Festplatz and try your best at singing our famous jingle. You could wind up in our next commercial. You can also sign up to win great prizes.
More of what you want to see is on Service Electric Cable TV.
It can happen over time or in a snap. If joint or muscle pain has taken you out of the game, we can identify the root cause of your problem and develop a sport-specific treatment plan to get you moving again. Over 400 medical experts strong, the region's only nationally ranked program. That's Orthopedics in Action at Lehigh Valley Health Network.
83 degrees and sunny, maybe overcast, a better way to describe it. As the referees and players take the field, Bethlehem Steel taking on Indy 11 from Goodman Stadium in the Lehigh Valley. With Matt Stubbington, Mike Watts alongside the starting lineup for Bethlehem Steel. Includes a couple changes. Bizo and Najam move in, and Jake McGuire is in goal.
Jake McGuire is a great goalkeeper. Saw him in college, played really well, and is just developing throughout his professional career. Look at that center midfield pairing of Chambers and Najim, probably arguably 2 of the best players in the league in that position, and just really control things for the Steel in the center area of the pitch.
The Bethlehem Steel starting 11 was brought to you by Lehigh Valley Health Network. On the other side, starting lineup for the visiting Indy 11, Suni Saad is back into the starting lineup. He's a guy who's always capable of the spectacular.
He is capable of the spectacular. A real shot in the arm for the offense of this Indy 11 team. Both teams struggling a little bit for consistency of late. And if you want to get on the win column, you've got to put the ball in the back of the net, and Saad certainly can do it as well as any in the league.
So Indy 11 trying to find a way through Brendan Burke's Bethlehem Steel side. And you think about the 11:30 start, Brendan Burke said, well, we usually practice at 11:45 in the morning, but the lights aren't usually on for that. They certainly are today, and his team are going to have to find a way to come out and fire.
Yeah, I mean, the players are used to playing and practicing at this time, but as you said, that this is competitive and it's a different kettle of fish. And it's going to be interesting to see how both teams react. Looking at quotes from players, and there's a little bit of trepidation at this early start and how the players were going to cope with getting up this early and changing their routine and starting their routine so early in the day.
You saw Martin Rennie there on the bench, longtime MLS and previous USL coach in another iteration, but first year for Indy 11. And it's a Bethlehem Steel side that comes off a 2-1 loss last time out against Red Bulls 2. Brendan Burke said that Red Bulls simply were a little bit sharper, had a little more energy in the second half. This team got in good positions, but failed to execute. It's important that they find a way to execute today. Playoff points very much on the line as Eugene Starikoff standing over the ball, former USA Youth International, U23 level. Indy 11, the first touch, are underway. Bethlehem Steel trying to protect their 8-match home unbeaten streak against the visiting Indy 11. Jake McGuire going to work. It's the home blue and gold kits for Bethlehem Steel. Some of the Ultras did make it out. Brendan Burke was well aware that that would mean missing some work to pull it off.
Fans and players alike are probably appreciative. Happy to miss some work and happy to have them here in support.
There were some Indy 11 fans on Twitter talking about making sure that they had us at the game from their computer at the desk at the office. Lawine Fawn Williams raised this toward the touchline, kept in play. Carl Ouimet. Yarrow and Marquez, two guys that could just as easily be starting for the Union, are the center back pairing for Bethlehem to start.
It's a back line for Bethlehem that have been pretty solid and consistent in appearances throughout the season. Iozzi's out with a calf strain this game. He's a big miss at left fullback.
Pushing his way through. And inside the 18, contact, everybody gets back up, no penalty. Nick Rodfate, his third career USL match as the center referee, had an early decision to make in the second minute.
Well, it's Moa. He's a lot of contact. I don't know. That was pretty close. Could have gone either way. Referee Fateh said that the ball was won fairly. Pasha, they perhaps getting away with one. Credit to the referee. Either way, he made the decision. He was very clear in the way he was calling the game. So the players didn't have any argument because of that. No confusion from the players. Shows how dangerous Moa is, though. Just getting into the box deep in the attacking third early in the match.
Lawine Fawn Williams in front of the Indy 11 fans that made the trip to the gorgeous Lehigh Valley, standing at arms behind him. Ball bouncing toward Ferris starts his second game in as many opportunities since signing last week. Bouncing for Fontana. Chance to move forward through Galena. Well, we heard that it might be a bit slick in this near left corner. That's been the case. Fontana has it stepped aside. A ton of torrential rain in the Northeast over these last handful of days. Certainly some attrition. The Goodman Stadium field is pristine as it looks from up here. Galena. Galena serving, rising for a header. It'll bounce all the way through. Ferris trying to cut it through. And now Chambers.
He's normally efficient in his touches, is Chambers. Hardly ever takes more than 2 or 3 touches on the ball. That was one that he would want to have back.
Think he's here for camp day?
I think he's here for camp day.
He's not here for camp day. It's more the camp director.
Well, if you're a camper, Chambers is certainly one to watch. He's so efficient in the way he plays the game. This is the area of the pitch that might have some water down there because of the rain you described. Everything seems okay.
Venegas slips it through. There's the flag. It's up. McGuire bailed out a bit because Suni saw it from there. Make a goalkeeper look a bit silly. You and I were remarking right before the game, USL has had some otherworldly goals this year. Suni Saad's been among those, bringing that new flavor to the league as one Fawn Williams away from pressure.
Matt Pickens doesn't want to see the replay any more times than he probably has of the free kick earlier in the season against Nashville. So he bent it from one post to the other.
We met. Here's Carlisle Mitchell, native of Trinidad and Tobago. Slide from Chambers to take it for Bethlehem. Bizo. Watson corrals it. Chip ball through, maybe a chance for Moses.
I like the rotation that Indy 11 have with their front 4 at the moment. Starikov, Saad keep switching positions, and Moses coming inside, forcing his way through.
Saad returns. Pasher out in front.
Oh, you see Pasha there just putting his hands to his face in disappointment. He knows he should have done better. Little give and go. Schoolboy error from the outside back, Barzo. Followed the pass on the give and go. You follow that pass, you're dead in the water. You've got to go with the player. Consequently, Pasha was in all kinds of space, had players lining up, and the cross was not good enough.
Ball for Real was short-armed. Watson, the orchestrator. Moses. The overlap is coming from Venegas. It takes the pressure off. Moses slips this through, and a chance across. Steinberger has it deflected away. He's scored once this year against Bethlehem. Across the face of goal. Saad circling around. Indy 11 starting to look dangerous as can be. And a chance to counter. Opportunities for Galena to serve. There is that cross. It's off the outside of the net. Well, Brendan Burke told us this could be a pretty wide open game. Right now, that's the case.
Proving to be at the moment. Look at that ball forwards, vertically up the pitch. Great timing on the run from Steinberger. Defensive play from Yarrow. Stopping the cross coming across. Guerra gets a yellow card for arguing with the referee. You don't want to be talking your way into the referee's notebook.
How many times do we see this come back and bite a player?
It's just silly to do it, especially this early in the game.
Guerra, the native of Caracas, Venezuela. There's Steinberger. Steinberger able to evade the tackle and move forward. Pasher was there, and this will run out. Pasher really is the difference maker for this Indy 11 team. They feel like between him and Saad, they've got one of the best wing pairs in the league. He's been injured much of the year, and there's just been injuries all over this Indy 11 side. They were late to the start of preseason, building their roster. And here they are in playoff position, and sitting above Bethlehem, a chance for Bethlehem at home to try and take some points off a group that's overcome a lot of adversity.
Well, it's tough if you miss the early part of preseason to get that grounding that you need to be healthy. Well, having said that, look at Louisville. They had a great preseason and it still came into the season with some injury problems that they've continued. But it's all about managing the players. We hear that time and time again from the coaches in the USL. And with Pasher and Iosi, if he's healthy, that's a great pairing on that left flank.
Venegas got a bit of help here. Starikoff lays it back past Venegas. Chambers comes busting in to alleviate. Indy 11 has found a couple of gaping holes. Bethlehem's back line, uncharacteristic.
Well, this right here from Starikov was a great ball played. Just couldn't get on the end of it.
Brendan Burke said this week to the local media, not enough clean sheets for this stage in the season. Just 2. McGuire has none. He had 5 last year. And Indy 11 is showing to be pretty dangerous here. Trying to get on the scoreboard before noontime.
It's the old adage. It doesn't matter what the sport. Coaches always tell you defense wins championships, and if you can't stop the other team from scoring, it makes your life a whole lot more difficult because it means you've got to get the offense right from the get-go. If you're struggling to score goals, as some teams in the USL do, it really does give you a hill to climb.
Galena took it away. Good challenge. Najim. Bounce out to Matt Real. Indy 11 on the road, so often so compact. Bethlehem came in with the game plan to pass just a little bit faster. Try and pull Indy 11 out just a little bit. Moar, tooth and nail, dispossessed.
And the run of Bizo there, tried to get forwards in to help, ended it up instead of overlapping Moar to the outside, went inside, took the defender with him. Saad was there and really just condensed the space. Moar wasn't able to do anything with it. Bizo just needs to recognize that he needs to curtail his run.
Marquez, that's an excellent ball. Ferris has room to work with. Real backing into the pocket. Marquez away from Galena. It'll be a goal kick. Touched him last.
See the puddles down there just outside the area of play, but it's very slick in that corner. You can see how tentative Marquez was as he approached the ball.
Referees went over, made sure the conditions were playable. Ball lobbed long. Picked up by McGuire. And look, most teams love to play here. It's a bigger field, natural grass, holds up really well over the course of the summer months where Bethlehem is the primary tenant. But well, rain doesn't really care one way or the other. Bethlehem pushing into the attack, and this is way too early. Lizo a little overeager there.
Did all the hard work. The finished product just wasn't of the quality of everything that went before. Get behind the defender. Pasha just needs to then exploit the space that he creates for himself into the attacking third. Take his time and allow his support to join him in the penalty box so he can serve the ball in.
Steinberger slide. That'll be a foul. Santi Moar's asking for more. It's a quick start. Chance to shoot from distance. That's Galena. Outside winger tucked inside. Nolan Fun Williams made the stop.
Frustration there for Farris. His movement was good. Created the angle for the to receive the pass. Galena never used him.
Moar. Moar earns a throw, sitting on 6 assists this year. He was the runner-up for Rookie of the Year last year with that number. Brilliant. Heavy challenge. Go with it.
Nice strong defense from both teams there.
Najum, clever touch to keep it in front of him. Away by Ouimet, but there's still work to be done. Pasher steps in to defend. Moar drives. There's a collision and a foul. Moses to ground.
Real just standing his ground, trailing leg, takes Moses to the turf. Easy call for Mr. Fateh.
Matt sizes everything up. Venegas, Starikov. A little bit of a stumble. Moses keeps it alive, wins it off Real. It's a corner.
Indy moving the ball pretty quickly going forwards. Rhythm about their play.
The scoreline last time out for them, 3-1 loss to Tampa Bay, was probably a little more exaggerated than the actual run of play would tell you. Indy a little more in that game than 3-1 would make you think. Saad toward the back post, headed along. Fed to Saad again. He's on his way through, chips it across. Comes for the range effort from Steinberger. And it's a foul against Matt Watson. Chambers is appealing for a caution to Watson for standing in his way. Tried to put that in play to the sprinting forward Ferris.
Frustration from Chambers. I understand why Watson is lucky. Easily could have gone into the book for unsportsmanlike conduct there.
Flag is down. Goalkeeper's out. Ferris. Ferris. Ferris still. Finally knocked away from him.
That developed so quickly, he just didn't have anybody to pass the ball to in the middle of the penalty box. Support's got to come more quickly.
Starikov flying to ground. Yarrow puts his arms out. You have to ask what he was supposed to do differently. It's a fair play. I don't think there are any cobwebs here, Matt. This has been a pretty... If you said this game started at 7, it wouldn't have caught me by surprise. Watson chips it. Starikov. Nobody home.
Well, both teams have certainly been up and at them for this early start, ready to play. Just that finishing product in the attacking third has been lacking from both teams. Up and at him. I wonder how early he had to get up to get dressed.
I was going to ask, are we really going to ignore that? It's the vest that ties it all together. I know most people think it's the hair. That would be incorrect.
I like the tie.
Clipper Darrell isn't cool because of anything else he wears. It's the Clipper colors, so to speak. Real off to the races. Player down, Venegas in behind. Play on, Najum. Fontana bounces back toward Fontana, who scored his first pro goal against New York Red Bulls 2 last time out.
Again, Bethlehem Steel getting the ball, nice possession, transitioning from their middle third to their attacking third. But what they're not doing a good job in that transition is getting players in the box as targets. Only Faris was there, the cross wasn't forthcoming. 1 against 4 is not really good odds for the home team. Somehow they got to find a way to get the dark blue shirts forwards more quickly.
Venegas. Starikov. We'll find Ouimet. Watson in pursuit. Real. Williams. Indy 11 will control this up the far touchline. Clip there.
Doesn't feel good on the back of the heel. And Watson is down. Clumsy challenge. Still getting forwards. It's near sideline. Real made the run forwards, wasn't utilized. Second time, this time on the left flank. The run was in the inner part of the pitch, down the inside channel. Somehow you've got to find a way to get those runs going on the outside, overlap the midfielder, and that'll open things up, make the pass down the pitch into the attacking third more easy.
Fontana, a foul. Martin Rennie up off his bench.
That's the second one from Fontana in short order. I'm sure the referee's keeping count without reminder from Martin Rennie.
By the way, you probably could read it in the morning call tomorrow, but it's worth noting. Obviously, Goodman Stadium home to Lehigh Mountain Hawk football. A little bit of trouble brewing. Maybe a chance for Bethlehem to get forward. Galena slips it through. Ferris trying to cut back. He goes down. Referee waves him back to his feet. We'll get back to the previous point in a moment's time.
I think that's the right decision. Ferris had lost his footing on the turf. Wasn't under contact, in my opinion, from Mitchell.
He's still down, Ferris. Now the referee will stop play. Well, we knew that the field was a bit slick down there. That certainly is partially the culprit. Owen Fawn Williams checking on him.
Well, second look. I mean, he did lose his footing. Mitchell did go through the player as well.
That sure looks like an unfortunate confluence of events more than anything, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And that leg did look to get stuck in the turf underneath Ferris. He looks in a lot of pain and discomfort.
He arrived last week. He trained once, played 48 hours after signing, went the distance against New York. Felt like he showed a flash of potential against those speedy Red Bull center backs. He's played with Olivier Baizo on the Cameroonian U20s. Got some familiarity on the team, although they couldn't be playing in much opposite corners of the field.
Athletic trainer doing the anterior draw test, checking on the integrity of the knee.
Radioing over. Hasn't made a clear hand signal yet one way or the other, so you hope that he's okay, but scary moment. Brendan Burke's side. Mitchell just simply tangled up on this slick, wet, natural grass.
Maybe the slippiness of the turf helped him a little bit. Always worry about players getting their feet tangled underneath them. That turning torsion motion does the knee no favors. Hopefully he'll be okay and ready to return to action. Seems to be.
Put back in play here. Indy 11 takes over. By the way, he does return, so it appears he's in good shape. Those tests went as well as to be imagined. 35 in blue is back. There's room here. Can it be exploited? No, it can't. Throw coming for Indy 11, but obviously Lehigh, a champion seemingly every year or every other year in the Patriot League. And Dominic Bragalone was just named the preseason Patriot League Offensive Player of the Year about an hour ago at their media day. So you'll be here all summer watching Bethlehem, then you'll turn around and the leaves will be turning all sorts of colors off on the horizon, and Lehigh football will be back, giving you a couple good reasons to make it out to Goodman Stadium.
Always feels like the summer holidays when you're a kid from school. Always feels like you got a lot of time for the vacation, and all of a sudden the season's ending and it's ready to change the sport. Can't believe we're on the downward stretch for the USL.
Week 20, can you believe it? We're nearing that 2/3 point.
Yeah, it's flown by. Of course, it helps when you're watching good games of soccer and some spectacular goals going in the back of the net.
Oh, this is a really great charge. Starikov ran out of real estate. Josh Yarrow, the former Georgetown superstar, trying not to make a mess of this. He has. It's a free kick for Indy 11.
I wasn't quite sure which way the decision was going to be made. Both players getting tangled up. But you can't wrap your arm around the shoulders of your opponent, Mr. Yarrow, and that's why the foul goes against you. Just pushes Starikov to the ground. Soisad gets a spray from the referee.
During the half-hour mark, Suni Saad lining up over this. Saad driving, punched away, McGuire. Ferris. Ferris played through, showing off that speed again. Ferris cutting. Won't catch up with this again. Boy, if he just finds a way to make that one last move come off, he's got a wide open look.
Well, credit to Venegas. That was an important touch that he made to deflect the ball out of the path of Ferris. It was a quick, dangerous counterattack, trying to exploit the speed of the number 35.
There's the overlap. Bizo. Bizo touching inside the area all the way through. Watson clips it out.
Much better from Bizo, getting forwards, played the ball exactly where he needed to. See the earlier opportunity for Ferris, just gets the ball stuck up. There's the little toe tap from Venegas. Great job from him. Staying with it, watching the ball, being patient defensively. And then the ensuing play, Bizo played the ball exactly where he needed to, right to the penalty spot. Unfortunately, his teammate Ferris had just pulled back a little bit closer to the near post, wasn't able to connect on the pass.
Indy 11 lost 3 of their last 4. The team's 6th in USL's crowded Eastern Conference playoff picture. Win could flop them up to 5th. Group that's playing out of Lucas Oil Stadium, Indianapolis this year. Drawn some great big crowds, reinventing themselves in this USL, their first year in the United Soccer League. Bizo throws. Bethlehem was the number 8 seed in the USL's Eastern Conference playoffs last year, swept aside by Louisville City en route to the USL Cup final in the quarterfinal round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. Good test for Indy 11. Fontana it's the foul. The 11 tries to go to work. Venegas has it stabbed away.
It's crazy how close everybody is in the Eastern Conference. 5 through 12, basically. More than 6 points of each other.
It's that case in the East and the Western Conference.
The West is closer all the way down the list.
Kept in play. That was Moses. And I think we're ready to say all the way down to 13 is still right in the thick of it in the West. This ball lobbed for McGuire.
Last year, Monarchs ran away and hid in the West, but this year nobody really has done that in either conference, although FC Cincinnati would make a case that they are separating themselves at the top of the division.
Really the team you see is the biggest threat to them, or Pride Pittsburgh.
They've been playing so well all season long. Bob Lilly gets a lot of plaudits for being the defensive specialist, but his teams can find ways to put the ball in the back of the net too. And that's exactly what the Riverhounds have done this season.
Steinberger keeps it moving. Hasher had this deflect off him. Not sure that'll count as a shot on goal. Did sure care him that way.
The Riverhounds have only conceded 8 goals this season, 12 clean sheets on the year.
Well, you remember last year, San Antonio, this vaunted phenomenal defense, allowed 24. Pittsburgh could go out and set some records this year.
I think they probably are. They could concede a goal for the rest of each game the rest of the season and still set records.
Yeah. Venegas knocking it back. Well out of play. Starikov again, sitting on goals in his last 2.
He's got a lot of confidence. No, why not try this effort? The bouncing ball made it more difficult. Well, it's going to be hard to hit the target there when you got players in front of you. Riverhounds, they've only scored 21 goals this season. They've got a plus 13 goal differential, which is pretty impressive.
Oh. You know, believe it or not, Bob Lilly in Rochester always found a way to get a guy into double-digit goals.
Well, they're a plus 13, and Atlanta United 2 have the same goals scored, have a minus 20.
Whoa.
Consequently, one's in second, one's in 3rd, and one's in 15th. Didn't we say earlier defense wins championships?
Yeah. So Atlanta United 2 might fall short. Moses coming after this. McGuire gets knocked up high. He came out and able to knock it away. The referee's going to go back and check on him. Anytime there's that shot toward the head area, everything comes to a halt. Really brave defending here from McGuire.
Great job, great strength there from Moses to get his foot to that ball. And there's the job of the goalkeeper. Sacrifice yourself, keep the ball out of the net. McGuire coming out, closing the angle, standing tall, standing strong, saves it with the face. I'm sure it'll be in the top 5 for saves of the week next week, but certainly should be in the mix for the bravery aspect of it.
Wonderful stuff by the understudy to Scott Sterling, as it might be.
I'm sure it didn't feel good, but I'm thankful for McGuire's sake that it was the ball that hit him, not the trailing knee of Moses as he went through under the challenge. The right knee of Moses would have felt a whole lot worse than the soccer ball.
Well, that's an entirely different problem for Indy 11 now. Appears to be Pasher there.
No sympathy from the spectators yelling, "Get him off the field." Pasha certainly not feeling very good.
Well, it's 81, 82 degrees. AccuWeather. That's the good stuff. With humidity in the 60s. A sub is coming. Thing about Tyler Pasher is he's a guy who in 2016 was working in residential steel construction from 5 in the morning to 5 at night. He's out of Elmira in Ontario. He left the Toronto Academy in 2013, went to the 3rd Division in Finland, and a guy who says, well, you know, stoppage time is nothing compared to that previous career choice. And he's one of the best outside backs, wing players in the league. He'll give way, and this is an enormous moment for Indy 11. It's hard to understate how big Rainier Ferreira's return is to this team. We were hoping it would be more limited minutes than this, but Martin Rennie's hand is forced a bit here. And the man who led San Francisco Deltas to the NASL title last year has played overseas in Portugal and Brazil. Makes his first appearance since April the 1st against Cincinnati, all to a left ankle injury.
It's great to see him back on the pitch. As you say, it's not the way you want to bring on a substitute. You'd rather it be for a tactical change. It had to be pretty significant for Pasha to be brought off. Certainly did not look comfortable at all.
Well, tremendous credit as well to Carl Ouimet, who's moved out wide left so that Carlisle Mitchell can pair alongside Ouimet on the wing, and now Rainier Ferreira, center back.
Now, I know defensively that Ouimet can get the job done. Will he be able to join the attack with the gay abandon that Pasha was doing? Help Sad get the width that Indy 11 need.
Brendan Burke does his part, tosses this back in.
Last few minutes have been a little bit disjointed with the stoppages. Referee checking to make sure players are okay.
Oh, Watson running through Martin Rennie is up in arms over there.
I see Chambers on the ball now. He's been a little bit conspicuous by his absence in this game. Not necessarily a bad thing for one of your holding midfielders, but normally he has more influence on a game than he seems to have had this match so far.
When a team like Indy comes in and does play fairly compact, and we've seen them play a lower block than this, to be sure. Player down in the middle of the field.
It's Farris that went down under contact with Mitchell. Referee looking over at his assistant on that far sideline for some help.
Just reaching into his upper pocket.
Chambers helping Farris to his feet, saying, oh, you're okay, you still look lovely. No bruising.
Penny, for your thoughts? Boy, Ferris is getting the all-inclusive package. Welcome to American soccer.
Well, he is.
There's a yellow card to the new center back, Rainier Ferreira, who's remarkably now in his 3rd appearance in USL has picked up his 3rd yellow card.
Pretty consistent.
Go figure.
Martin Rennie might want to speak to him about that.
saw, what, Joel Huiki out in Las Vegas, and Taesong Kim were up at 4 or 5 yellow cards, 7, 8 games into the year. Colorado Springs, Taesong Kim, that is. Huiki. So Rainier Ferreira is trying to impress all the right and the wrong ways. Najm will put this in play, 44th minute. Najm trying to play that in behind. Marquez was sneaking toward the back door. Real, oh, it'll sneak through. Venegas. Steinberger into the middle, it's intercepted. Bizo, not that time, Saad in the way. Saad lost it. Galena allows Bizo through. Steinberger hits the O button on the harm's way for a moment. Bizo recovers.
I understand the frustration there from Indy 11. That was a really late whistle. I have a problem with the fact that the foul was called. Defender going through the back of Faris. The referee needs to make his decisions a little bit quicker than that. Strong challenge there from Ferreira. Leading with the shoulder a little bit, and the whistle came really late. Player down in the box.
Far side AR is slowly creeping in here among those trying to keep the peace.
I think we're going to get a little bit more than the 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's we met, still down. We met has gone through it all these last couple of years. 3 different clubs the last 3 years, that infamous run-in with Romeo Parks. Bethlehem a chance to try and pull ahead before the halftime whistle. This ball lined toward Marquez, and he just does pop it over the corner. We were told Richie Marquez looks as close to fully fit as he has in months. Would have been something special for the center back to put this in.
Oh, it was a great ball in. The run was good, just couldn't time the leap early enough to get over the top of the ball and put it under the crossbar. Maybe a little bit deeper. Real with the cross.
Richie Marquez at the start of last year, this is a guy that they were saying was getting interest from Atlas in Liga MX. I mean, high-level player on loan to Bethlehem Steel from Philadelphia Union. Fontana is fouled, and the Indy 11 bench is incensed. Faris out of the reach of Santi Moar.
It's funny, sometimes you get frustrated as a player because every time the whistle goes, it feels like it's going against you. That's the way Indy 11 are feeling right now.
Coming up at halftime, we'll show you some USL news and notes. Highlights, stats from the half that was. Get ready for the half that will be. It's our lone morning time game today. There's just one late game. Las Vegas is away to Seattle tonight. Three minutes have elapsed. This from distance, powered up and over the crossbar. Sumi Saad gave that a ride.
Well, we know he can strike it from that far out. But in the turn, he was falling away from the target. Hence, the ball goes sailing high and wide of Maguire's net. never in balance when he took the shot. That late night game tonight is going to be an interesting one. Vegas need the win if they're going to find a way to get themselves into the playoff picture.
I'd say the same for Seattle. Well, this is a Bethlehem team that, well, 3 points would go a long way. They're on level terms at halftime trying to protect that 8-match home unbeaten streak, Matt.
You got to take care of the home field, as we said in the open. They got to do a better job. They're not moving the ball quickly enough. They've got to find the width, get those players overlapping on the outside to open up that space. If they can do that, perhaps they'll get a goal in the second half. Brendan
Burke told us moving the ball too slowly would play right into Indy 11's hands. They weren't quite able to put it all together. It's opening half. The word of the day is physicality. It's fouls, it's yellow cards. Level terms at halftime. We'll give you first half highlights and stats. We return to Goodman Stadium after this.
The heat will wear you out real quick. And we've been through some hot ones. It's very physical. You gotta take care of your body and stay hydrated because every moment matters. That's why I drink Advocare Hydrate. I've got a job to do.
Join the Hillside School in their mission to empower intelligent students with learning disabilities and maximize their potential at the 35th Annual Hillside School Golf Classic, Wednesday, August 29th at Saucon Valley Country Club. All proceeds benefit the Hillside School Scholarship Fund. Enjoy a day on the links while supporting the Hillside School in providing students with the tools for lifelong success. For sponsorship info or to register, contact Aaron Coffey at the Hillside School. We'll see you Wednesday, August 29th.
It can happen over time or in a snap. If joint or muscle pain has taken you out of the game, we can identify the root cause of your problem and develop a sport-specific treatment plan to get you moving again. Over 400 medical experts strong, the region's only nationally ranked program. That's Orthopedics in Action at Lehigh Valley Health Network.
Hey Union fans, Dunkin' Donuts has the perfect assist for DD Perks members this season. Score medium hot or iced coffee for $1 the day of every Union home game when you use on-the-go mobile ordering in the Dunkin' app. Order ahead, skip the wait in store, and go! Enroll in DD Perks today and order your next Dunkin' run on the go. Dunkin' Donuts, the official coffee of the Philadelphia Union. The Union runs on Dunkin'.
Fans at Goodman Stadium out to get a sweet treat. Chance to get some concessions at halftime as the Hill is full today on camp day. It's scoreless at halftime between Bethlehem Steel and Indy 11. Back with Matt Stubbington, Mike Watts, all pining for the camera. Let's take a look at who's pining for the camera on the field in this opening half. Matt, the story was physicality and maybe the inability to put these kind of efforts on target.
There wasn't enough of those dangerous passes into the attacking third from either team in the first 45 minutes. That one, Moses trying to find Steinberger, but fine defensive effort there from Yarrow to thwart the attack. Starakov tried to find teammates. Great cutback pass, but just Venegas overran the pullback. We saw that from Bethlehem Steel as well later on in the first 45. And it's just those missed connections. However, this was a connection. Great run from Farris, great long ball forwards, but he wasn't able to find any support in the box. His numbers didn't come in, and then he just takes one too many touches and allows the defenders to close him down, steal the ball off of his foot. Najim again, finding Farris. Great speed, great control, and the extra touch, and Venegas was able to just touch it away. Great patience here from number 22, keeping his eye on the ball and finding a teammate on the clearance to boot.
We see Venegas getting into the attack the other way for Indy 11. This ball bombed over the top by Starikov. And again, maybe the best way to describe it is missed connections, everything but in this first half. Had another instance for Indy 11. They push up field again here. Luckily, everybody's okay. McGuire making the save with his face on this through to Moses.
was a great through ball. Great strength for Moses to be able to get on the end of that through ball. Marquez trying his best to get goal side, wasn't able to do so. But Maguire, fantastic save, and for the home team, this is probably the best chance they had in the first 45. Ball across from the free kick from Real. Marquez trying to get on the end of it. Couldn't get deep enough into the box to get over the top with his leap. And you look at the score, is 0-0, and the stats, well, it tells the picture really. Shots on target, just one apiece. And then you look at the passes made in the first 45 minutes, 195 for Bethlehem Steel, 256 for Indy 11, but neither team really connecting on a huge percentage of accuracy for those passes made. So something that needs to improve in the second half.
You know, sometimes you wonder how the 11:30 a.m. game will affect things. I don't know that it affected it all that much. These two teams did a lot right. Actually moved pretty well. Not a lot of cobwebs or rust. But the fans will enjoy halftime and get back to their seats shortly. They've been fans up off their seats much of last week. A ton of goals, a ton of important results in the playoff races. Let's take a look at some of the best of.
It's Schreiber, and it's 1-0 Richmond.
That didn't come off very well. This ball headed in. Important save by McIntosh.
Fury going forward again. Here's a left-foot shot.
Sending it across in front. Header is down and it's kicked away. Herrera, 2 great saves. Oh my gosh, 3.
And for Herrera, has some time and space. Lets it fly. That is sensational from Herrera.
Lots of traffic in there. Gets lost. Oh, how about Mizell? Wow.
Ward, near post. Oh, what a finish by Charlie Ward.
And we'll take the shot, and Farino, an important parry with his right hand.
Ramos Godoy cutting onto his right and strikes, and it goes in.
Go with the right foot, and he's stopped.
Isley finding a Watson with a strike, and it's number 10 on the year.
Chance here for Pittsburgh. Into Brad.
Oh, what a save again.
And it will be Salgado to strike, and he puts it in the back of the net.
Brian Obi working on fines. Obi, it's off the crossbar.
Moreno with the shot, and he beats McGuire.
Guillen, first time, Becker down low, and Goita down low as well with the save.
Trent sends some service in, taking off the chest by Gregg, who strikes and scores. In on goal, Callie Brown off of his line. Prater denied by Brown.
Shot from distance, Tambakis with the ball, with the save.
Lopez onside, good ball, Cheto Guzman almost rolling in. San Antonio FC on top, 3-1.
Cole takes the shot and scores!
So now you're going to be watching on ESPN News on August the 8th. If that didn't convince you, I don't know what will. Back with Matt Stovington, Mike Watts, everybody getting back into position for this second half of play. Let's tell you about some news and notes from around the United Soccer League of late. Joe Kuzminski able to keep Charleston in the game, able to make a late penalty save. It ends up being 1-0 to Charleston over Pittsburgh. Battle of 2v3. Perfect number 10. Manuel Ledesma, 2 away from the USL assist record. And Matt, the real story, everything is tightening up east and west. We've talked about it a bit, but the playoff race is very much on.
The playoff race is on, and it's exciting. So many teams vying for those positions in the top 8 in both conferences. It's going to be a really exciting conclusion to the season in the USL. And you look at Ledesma, how he's getting all of those assists. He's scoring goals too. And he's a huge part of why FC Cincinnati are at the top of the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, it's probably time to start talking MVP for Emmanuel Ledesma. How about Team of the Week in the USL? Ilya Illich up front. 4-1 win for Louisville over Charlotte. Boy, did they need that. Junior Flemings for the Rowdies is the Player of the Week. And this is a pretty East-West balanced group.
It is very balanced, and that's really the strength of the league, is this balance across the board in the USL. And there's some familiar names on this list. Aiden Quinn there, he's a good player. Herrera had a good performance getting the shutout. Illich, good to see him up the top with a goal and the assist last week. And it's good to see so much balance around the league, and the plaudits for these players is well deserved.
Let's talk USL Game of the Week. You saw what's coming up on August the 8th on ESPN News. Tampa Bay, now Lang Stadium, playing host to Charleston Battery. Battery are competing for first. The Rowdies are competing to make the playoffs.
It's a little surprised to see the Rowdies struggling, but they had their problems earlier in the season, made a coaching change, and finding their feet a little bit. It's going to be a huge game for both those squads. I'm looking for August 22nd, Phoenix Rising, always entertaining to watch.
Well, mouth-watering stuff in the Game of the Week schedule that's on the horizon on ESPN News and ESPN3. How about that magnificent vista out behind Goodman Stadium? We're at halftime. Bethlehem has only drawn 0-0 twice this year. Indy only 3 times. Less than 10% of games in this league have finished 0-0. So if I'm a betting man, there should be a goal in the second half. Stick around. We've got more coming up after this.
This is St. Pete Clearwater, home to Clearwater Beach, the #1 beach in the U.S. as chosen by travelers on TripAdvisor. It's not just white sand and Gulf breezes. Beach is an attitude. It's the vibe of whatever brings you joy. Experience the American tropics on Florida's Gulf Coast. Visit stpclearwater.com. Love the beach.
The Lehigh Valley's largest selection of new and pre-owned vehicles in one location is Rothrock. We have over 1,000 vehicles to choose from, an award-winning service team, ultra-modern facilities for comfort and convenience, and the best deals in the Valley. During Rothrock's Celebrate America sale, drive home a 2018 Altima S for only $149 a month. Or a 2018 Rogue S all-wheel drive, also only $149 a month. Your choice only at Rothrock. Family owned for over 57 years. Rothrock, where the cars are.
It can happen over time or in a snap. If joint or muscle pain has taken you out of the game, we can identify the root cause of your problem and develop a sport-specific treatment plan to get you moving again. Over 400 medical experts strong, the region's only nationally ranked program. That's Orthopedics in Action at Lehigh Valley Health Network.
Players making their way back onto the field at Goodman Stadium in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. The Steel, Indy 11 on level terms at halftime. Back with Matt Stubbington, Mike Watts. Let's take a look at what's ahead and begin with Bethlehem. They'll host Atlanta United 2, or as they say colloquially, ATL UTD 2, July 29th, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Then they're away to Richmond, away to Charlotte. You look at these 3 games, and you can very easily see a route to making the playoffs or missing them based on how many points you can get.
Those 3 games are really key before you go into play the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, which is going to be a really tough game. But these next 3 games for the Steel are going to be key because those teams are around them in the playoff picture.
On the other side, It's an Indy 11 side that looks to face the reigning league champion Louisville City, who have been Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of late. Then North Carolina FC at home, then away to Ottawa. So it's a very much topsy-turvy set of games.
It's important for Indy 11 to get a fast start, not only in this set of 5 games, but against Louisville City FC, because, as you said, Lou City, with James O'Connor going to Orlando City, there's been a little bit of discombobulation between the team with the coaching situation. Luke Spencer and his compatriots have done a really good job, but if you can hit Lou City hard and early in the game, perhaps you can come out victorious.
What are they calling the 3-man coaching trio?
The Great Triumvirate.
Yeah.
Del Piccolo and George Davis IV. I mean, credit to the guys. I mean, they're doing a fantastic job, but it's a difficult situation. And if you can come out with a head of steam against them, you can put the Lou City team backs to the wall and maybe come out victorious. That will be a tough match for Indy 11.
Bethlehem is +10 in goal differential at home. They've lost 1 game at home. It had a red card in the 5th minute against a Nashville team who's playing among their best football of the season. If they win, they're tied for 8th on points in the USL's Eastern Conference, and they're in fine position looking forward down the stretch. Indy 11, 4 wins on the road. A 5th would be a franchise record. They had 1 loss in their first 7 games on the road, but have fallen in their last 2. They're trying to get their first result in this, the 3rd of their 4-game road swing, their longest runs on the road of the year. So we're underway for the second half of play between Bethlehem and the Indy 11.
I did the game for that Nashville game with the steal, and Bethlehem really had the run of play throughout the match. Looks like there's been a change for Bethlehem steal.
Ferris off, Aiden Apodaca coming on. It's a player substitution for Bethlehem Steel. It's brought to you by the Lehigh Valley Health Network. Watson able to get this to Saad. He put an absurd amount of English on that, nearly curled it in.
Great opportunity right out of the locker room. Great play, great hold-up play there from Watson. And balance and poise to find Saad at the top of the box. Hits it first time. Big toe was up in the air, trying to curl it into the upper right-hand corner. Had McGuire beat, but couldn't get it underneath the crossbar. It's a wake-up call for the home team.
Apodaca comes away with this. 22-year-old native of Rancho Cucamonga, California. Switch for Galena, comes up short. Izo grabbing hold of this select soccer ball. Launched away by Juan Guerra. Marquez. Real floats it out. Izo, Najum. Brendan Burke telling us just a crucial game, crucial stretch. Spoke about goal setting as a team resetting after one of the worst runs, not necessarily of performance or form necessarily, out of game results that they've had in the last couple of years. Moar downshifting. They've held in here against Indy 11 and then some. This is some of their better possession, pinging the ball around with a bit more authority start this second half. Matt, we talk about how this block of Indy 11 defends as a unit, and we talked about how James Chambers hasn't really been on the ball that much. He's standing away from that block. He's standing over top of it. Kind of leaves him on the outside looking in.
It does, and when he does come back and get the ball deep, generally in the run of play, but because Indy 11 do have that block playing, he has to come a little bit deeper than he's perhaps used to. Makes it more difficult for his teammates to get beyond the ball.
There he goes, getting a little more incisive. Bizo. Kalina created a nice little bit of room. Sanad Apodaca. Swing and a miss. And hits a combination of two players swinging the door shut that finally gives the ball back to Indy 11 after a couple-minute run of possession for Bethlehem.
Again, that space from Indy 11 just taken away. Still have to find a way to transition more quickly. Give Indy 11 time to get behind the ball. It's so difficult to break down. Times they defend with 5 across the back.
It's amazing, Matt. 2 straight losses on the road can change perception. Playing in front of this guy can change perception too, but for Indy 11, you have one of the best road records in the league, and Martin Rennie said this week he was trying to remind his players of that, and right now they look like a team that could easily walk out here with a point or more.
Oh, absolutely. Part of that is because they're so difficult to break down. You frustrate your opponent when you're on the road. Don't allow them to score on the home turf. Take the fans out of the game. Plays into your favor, and then you can pinch a goal against the run of play a little bit. There goes Fontana again. That's number 4. Maybe the referee isn't keeping count. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes into the book if he keeps making challenges like that.
Matt's abacus is running out of space over here.
Running out of fingers.
Yeah.
I promise I won't take the shoes off, though.
Yeah. It's Olivier Bizo, Cameroonian. Fontana. Suni Saad, Lebanese international, who made his career largely at Sporting Kansas City, came available, intercepted Apodaca. It's on the wrong side of Chambers. Fired long over the top. Hangs up for Saad. This is an area of grass that's drying out in real time. Gara. Steered across, Starikov. Starikov slips it through, and it's a delicate touch. And Matt Real forced this out for a corner.
Real did a good job getting out, stopping the initial cross coming in, and stands his ground, puts it out for the corner kick. Better from Indy 11. Talk about it time and time again, the importance of width in the game of soccer to spread out the opposition's defense. That's exactly what the Indy 11 did on that opportunity. This man here, Saad, on the left flank, getting wide, causing issues. In the end, they win the corner.
Saad got it toward Mitchell. Now the shot is on and rung wide. Never any trouble. Jake McGuire there. Steinberger, that final effort.
Dragged his foot across the ball as it came out to him. Eyes got big. Ball in from Saad. Deflected out by Marquez, I think it was. Steinberger's shot never going to trouble McGuire. Snatched at his opportunity.
McGuire charges out. Boy, he'd love to get off the Schneid, get his first shutout of the year. It's not a one-man show back there, to be sure, but every goalkeeper, in some ways, judged on it right or wrong. Holding up his run, Starikov did really well here. Watson curling around his center forward. Knocks it off of Yarrow. How about a corner for Indy 11?
Just see that the ball doesn't run as smoothly in this corner. All the water down in that area. Poor kid over there retrieving the ball from a puddle. Has a towel in his hand to dry it off. So he's wondering where he's going to put his left foot without it getting wet, I think.
Backing in, header out in front. McGuire could have had two hands on that. Carlisle Mitchell sent a third effort. Watson having trouble with the energetic Apodaca.
Great work from Apodaca defensively.
Oh wow, Bethlehem has found some space, bit of a pocket. Here he comes now. Apodaca, one of the most prolific goal scorers in the country in his college days. California Baptist. And it too far wide. 56 minutes gone, two teams closer in points than it would appear on the table. Massive opportunity for Bethlehem at home. Fontana, Najum onto his right. Over the crossbar, Olwine Fon Williams threw a hand at it, didn't need to poke it over.
Wondering if it got deflected by Guerra, but it didn't. Goes over the crossbar. Fontana pulling the ball back. Najum just drops the shoulder. You see the frustration. He knows he should have put that one on frame. Test the goalkeeper. Criticized Faris in the first half for taking too many touches and taking opportunities away from himself. Apodaca did that on that previous attack. Lovely work there from Baizo.
I don't know how much of that work he did himself, but
well, you have to have a certain amount of confidence and patience and judgment.
We met, seemed to get knocked up high. Galena sort of reaching into the lion's mouth here.
Something in the eye, I think. Sportsmanship between Galena and We Met. The athletic trainer comes on, so We Met has to go off. So as Galena was trying to get to the outside, wasn't able to get past, and just see that hand go up, the left hand go up, and essentially just pokes We Met in the face, making contact with that left eye. Everybody seems okay, thank goodness.
That was an overwhelmingly kind exchange at the end.
as competitive as it is, overwhelmingly, there's a lot of respect between these players in this league.
Moar couldn't get through Venegas, but he steals it right back. Goes down edge of the area. This is out. It's just a goal kick.
I don't think the players for Indy 11 are going to thank the referee for that whistle being blown and the pointing into the penalty area like that. Seen those given. Would have only been a free kick.
Little bit of rain beginning to come down. If it is foreshadowing, it's pretty unclear for whom. Starikov was trying to walk through. Now Bethlehem saunters up this near touchline. Away from Galena, who slides in, took it away from Rainier. And now an opportunity, Apodaca on his left. Carlisle Mitchell is there. There's a player down for Bethlehem as Indy 11 tries to counter. Starikov for Saad.
It's all starting to open up a little bit. It's Galena that's down. Apodaca had a great opportunity. Should have let the ball run to his right, came back across the grain, tried to hit it with his left. Again, one touch too many, taking the opportunity away for the forwards of Bethlehem Steel. Galena, he is not a happy chap right now. Goes into this challenge with Ferreira, and his right ankle just gets caught underneath him, and then Ferreira just lands on the upper body as well. Not exactly sure what is up. He hasn't gone to the ankle, so I don't think it's a lower body issue. Watch that right foot there. Right there gets caught up a little bit, and he goes right to his chest.
Yeah, very much played the role of the accordion here, just sort of folded up under the pressure of the challenge over top of him. Trainers working up around his nose and mouth. Galena out of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, 18 years old, has played on their under-17 national team. Guy who's been dreaming of the opportunity to play professionally since he was 10 years of age. Here he is 8 years later.
Kira Umeki, the athletic trainer, has been doing a lot of work.
Umeki with that Arizona United franchise, DC United, FC Dallas. He's been around the block. And look, with Bethlehem being just down the road from Philadelphia Union, there's a lot of crossover between the two sides. Players shuttled up and down from time to time, and the ability to share resources really be vital. You've got 40, 50 professional players in your ranks. The Union organization does. Galena just looks really bent out of shape here. He's set to come off. Chris Nanko looking to come on. And yes, in the 63rd minute, there will be a change. This Bethlehem Steel FC player substitution is brought to you by Lehigh Valley Health Network. Chris Nanko, the bullet off the bench, coming in for Galena. Second of 3 subs available to Bethlehem. Danko still only 23 years old. 6 goals these last couple of years. We'll see how he and Apodaca in particular work together. Apodaca crossing, Fontana. This is, well, Chambers trying for a drive-by.
Trying to stamp his authority on the game.
Well, I'll say.
A couple of shooting opportunities, that was the second. Both of them have gone well over the crossbar. Maybe a little bit of frustration from the central midfielder for the home team.
Bethlehem trying to avoid a familiar tale. Long streak of 1-goal losses in July. On level terms here at home. Draw would extend to 9 straight. Goodman Stadium without a loss. Run stretching back to April. You look at the lineups these teams put out, really not a ton of differences from their last game on either side. Whether it's the tired legs or the summer or the field being a little wetter than usual, just hasn't all come together yet.
The commitment, the physicality, the athleticism is there. It's the mental fatigue in the attacking third that has been the issue for both squads this afternoon. They haven't connected with those all-important passes. And you have to give credit to the defenses of both teams. Both squads get behind the ball very quickly, condense the space, make it hard to play through their back lines.
Bethlehem coming off these 10 days off. Make the best of this. It's an Indy side that's road weary. Fontana. How many is that, Matt?
That's number 5.
Yeah.
The bench of Indy 11 barking at the referee.
Chambers. Fontana couldn't connect. He's gliding into that open space. Now Indy 11 trying to charge forward. Steinberger. Watson. Watson, Steinberger lets it through. Saad. Oh, it's a sitter. A lot of moving parts for Indy 11. The narrative continues.
Oh, the watch had all the right moving parts, all the pieces in place, and then the watch stopped as the ball goes over the crossbar, and the reaction of the player says it all. Well left from Steinberger. Saad was in the perfect place. Just didn't finish off what would have been a really great team goal.
Suni Saad. Watson. Sliding down, maybe a chance to serve. Moses sets this out for a corner and say a really good team goal, and that of course comes with, well, all the gears have to fit together, don't they? Seemed like one little click at the end. Saad service disconnected. Charging in, Ferreira, and now a chance to turn, try and get a shot away. It's lifted up and over. Starikov is trying to round and hit that first time.
Well, Chambers was there, tracking back from his midfield position. Talk about that frequently, how important it is for those central midfielders to come back and take care of business box to box. Chambers did just that.
Uh-oh, up and over. Oh, man. Santi Moar just dodged a bullet.
Well, it was a terrible service from Saad because of the ground underfoot in that corner. Trying to play it into that near post area. No pace on the ball. And Moar just swings and undercuts the ball. And very thankful that that one goes over the crossbar. And this one comes in. And Maguire, easy as you like, catches it.
Moar, such a good year, his second pro season. Najim, Ferreira had a lot of ground to cover. Bethlehem into the 18. This shot is parried aside. Owen Fun Williams gets the ground, robs Chris Nanko.
Wonderful vision here. Moar started the move, finds Najim, who just one-times it out to the right fullback area. Ferreira couldn't get in, drops the shoulder to Nanko, takes the shot. He's not messing around, he's not taking too many touches. And that's a fine save, quickly down to his right from Font Williams.
Well, don't look now, but the goalkeepers are starting to get a little busy. Service wound in, no touch from Apodaca. As Indy, considering its options, they've got one of the best out-and-out goal scorers in USL sitting on their bench right now. The numbers wouldn't say that, but Jack McInerney, well known, both Brendan Burke and the Union organization at large. He's waiting to make his return.
A huge engine. Brings so much to the table, not just his goal scoring open.
Starkov's gonna get a yellow card. Dragged his cleats down.
Left boot makes contact with the left knee of Real. Starikov goes into the book. There's McInerney waiting to come in. A little surprised that it's Saad that comes out.
He has dealt with an oblique injury for much of this season, for what it's worth. But he's been good.
He played well, he's had a good shift. Been influential in the attacking half for Indy 11.
McInerney on for Saad. McInerney serenaded by the fans here. He's behind McInerney. Matt didn't keep that in. McInerney, a guy who can drop in, play a false nine. He can play as a true out-and-out forward. He can play the wing. The opportunities are endless.
He's a coach's dream. It's great when you can look at a player and not wonder where he's going to fit on the pitch. He can just get the job done. We met there, grabs hold of Bizo. So Bizo looks like he was going to get into the attacking third for the steal.
Bizo goes down. There's one sub remaining for Bethlehem. Bizo playing at that outside back position.
Ouimet knew that he was beating all ends up, just steps into Bizo. Tactical foul there from the left fullback as he is now for Indy 11. Pasher had to step out in the first half. Ferreira came in his stead.
Fontana has this ricochet toward the corner. This is a corner.
Fontana wanted to get a little bit closer to the goal. Just hits it straight off of the defender, out for the corner kick. So, see if he can do better on this service than he did on the free kick. Shona Jim's going to trust him to take this one.
Fontana finds Marquez. Forklifted out. Nanko pressuring Guerra. Good ball skills from Steinberger. Moses is pulled away. Didn't find Starikov. There's McInerney patrolling the middle. McInerney did play against the Union with the LA Galaxy. Game that finished 0-0 in Carson last year. Right after he had signed the Galaxy. It was his LA debut. Moar transversing. Moar did get the shot away. Fawn Williams makes the simple grab.
Just feels like that's the story of the game, though. Too many touches in and around the top of the box for both teams, taking away scoring opportunities. Granted, Moar got the shot off, but there was never any power on it. Never going to trouble Fawn Williams. And he had players open. Bizo was there on the right flank begging for the ball.
This will stay in. Corner coming, Indy 11, 77th minute.
Just feels like the game needs a shot in the arm at the moment.
I'm not sure how many more shots you can give it. McInerney's in, Nanko's in, Apodaca's in. A lot of the attacking subs have already made way.
Apodaca has been a real bright spark for Bethlehem still. Maybe not offensively, but defensively, he's been fantastic up top.
Swinging away from goal. There was a push. Yarrow was climbed. Change coming. Well, forget the change. How about everybody grab a drink of water?
That might be the shot in the arm the game needs, is a little bit of a respite for the players to get some water on board in these tough conditions.
Let's take a look at the highlights to this stage. Boy, that's a big moment. McGuire able to get back up. Moses was played through.
Oh, it was a great opportunity for Moses. Strength of the player to get the shot off. Beats the defender, Marquez. What about the goalkeeper? Fantastic, standing tall, making the save with his face. And then this was a very important moment. Saad there knows he should have done better. Look at the move from Watson, the strength, the outside of the right foot pass, the inside of the right foot shot from Saad. Wasn't able to beat the crossbar. And that was right after the halftime break. And this was probably an even better opportunity. Steinberger with the over run of the ball. Saad just doesn't put it on frame. Knows he should have done better. And the two best chances for the visitors fall into the foot of number 14, who has made way in the second half for McInerney to come on.
So 79th minute now. And this will now be 5 games for Ayoze and Saad. Ayoze being out on the day without a goal. Suni Saad certainly had his chances, and you think about this Indy 11 side, they are the engine. So think about the importance of getting everybody healthy and 90-minute ready and dealing with the players in and out of the lineup on this road swing. Fontana will come out at the hydration break, and I think this is the ultimate shot in the arm, and it's not because he's going to play up front, but Drew Skundrich checks in. This Bethlehem Steel FC player substitution is brought to you by Lehigh Valley Health Network.
Third and final substitution for Bethlehem Steel. Exiting the game is number 21, Anthony Fontana. Entering into place number 39, Drew Skundrich.
So here we go. Bethlehem into the shadows. That must be nice. Chambers. Najum. There's the hard charging run. Captains dueling for the ball. Chambers the foul on Watson.
Chambers, I don't think, beat anybody in a foot race, but can't fault his work rate. Trying to get forwards, trying to play the captain's role, trying to create something deep in the attacking third. But defensively, there's Watson playing his captain's role, tracking the run deep from the midfield. It's a great battle between those two committed players.
You speak referee?
That was put the ball further back, please.
Something brewing there for Bethlehem. Bizo will have to finish this out, having taken an earlier knock. All 3 subs in the can now for Bethlehem. Apodaca, Nanko, Skundrich.
So Skundrich is playing a little deeper, allowing their gym to get further forwards from the midfield.
Meanwhile, telling that Marquez and Yarrow are good to go for 90 minutes apiece at center back. That's a good sign for Bethlehem. Oh, it's Bethlehem's.
Martin Rennie is furious. It should have been a ball to Indy 11. It was missed by the assistant on that far sideline.
Nanko running out in front. Bizo able to square it up. Moar trying to slide in there and keep it. Venegas for Indy 11.
And Bizo just didn't play it to Moar's correct foot. It needed to be played down the pitch to Moar's left foot for him to run onto. Went to his right. Consequently, Moar had to slow up.
Nanko, it'll come back to the earlier foul outside the area. There's no advantage. Boy, Martin Rennie is really unhappy right now. He's had a couple instances where I think he's had a pretty fair point.
He feels some things have been missed. There's been some late whistles. It's in the first half, Indy 11 going through moments where they feel everything is going against them as far as the decisions being made by the referee. This is a good place for Chambers. As the angle for the service. Also not a million miles away from having the angle for the shot. Be very surprised if this wasn't goal bound.
Nanko, Apodaca, Skundrich, Yarrow, all inside the 18. Chambers sends it low. Boy, if there's a rebound, Owain Fawn Williams has a problem. He's able to hold on.
It certainly was goal bound. I love that free kick. Driven hard, driven low, challenges the goalkeeper, and allows those on-rushing players in the box to pounce if the keeper makes any kind of error.
Steinberger went to ground. We met dropping back there on the near side. Bethlehem couldn't find any extra space, and Indy 11 trying to charge up. 84 minutes deep. Brendan Burke pointing for a throw. He won't get it. Matt Watson will hand off, and it's Venegas. Played at Minnesota United, over 100 appearances, best 11, the previous pre-MLS iteration. Cross field, good switch. That wind must make it feel like a pleasure cruise. Temperatures in the mid-80s, humidity. It's staggering. Central Pennsylvania. Indy 11 starting this game at what amounts to 10:30 Central Time. Through by Ferreira. Finds McInerney. Moses. We met. We'll let this roll away from Bizo. A corner for Indy 11.
We met has stepped out in the left fullback position. Hasn't gone forwards as much as Pasha did when he was on the pitch. But on this occasion, he does make a foray into the attacking third. Wins the corner kick. Let's see whether Steinberger can have any better luck with his footing. You see he's actually putting the ball outside of the field of play. Trying to find some firm ground to stand on with his left peg.
Header snapped in! Revenge for McInerney. Indy 11 has their lead.
Well, Steinberger found the firm footing. He put the ball outside the field of play, and the referee let it continue. Look at that header from McInerney. How he was opened so easily in the box. Marquez was shielded off the play. Mitchell, I think it was, that got in his way. And McInerney just beautifully up, using his neck muscles to turn it on frame. Textbook header from the corner kick.
Well, they were chanting Union reject at McInerney. I don't know that that's the chant anymore. "87 minutes gone in Bethlehem's 8-game unbeaten streak at home. Very much in jeopardy. Najim. Skundrich. Yarrow. Chambers. The overlap is coming. Real out in front of Apodaca. It's wide. Apodaca still looking for that first competitive professional goal.
Well, this was the best opportunity for the home team of the game. And I think that ball was deflected just slightly from Mitchell before it found the foot of Apodaca, and he couldn't turn the deflected ball on frame. Beautifully worked down the left flank. Good patience. The important thing is that still they moved that ball with 1 or 2 touches. They didn't hold on to it. They didn't take the opportunity away from themselves with too many touches. Came ever so close to tying the game up.
Fawn Williams looking for his 8th shutout He's got the 5th most in USL's Eastern Conference. McInerney, Indy 11 trying to put that nail in the coffin. Bethlehem's 3-month-long unbeaten streak at home. Lest we forget, there have been multiple injury timeouts, a goal, and a hydration break. The referee is going to have to carry the one to figure out stoppage time, perhaps. And the small but vocal traveling party from Indy 11, their first go-around around the league, hoping that this is revenge for a 2-1 loss to Bethlehem, Lucas Oil Stadium earlier this year. Off in the corner. Campers here trying to carry a bit more energy in here late. Spur Bethlehem on. Starikov came free in the area. It's back to the corner. It's a goal kick.
Moses is feeling a little hard done by that. He got a ticky-tack foul called against him in the earlier attempt to hold play up in the corner. On that occasion, Matt Real gave some physical contact as the player went to ground. And no call from the official on that far sideline.
4th official says 6 minutes added time. Indy 11, that's got to feel like an eternity. It's game 3 of their 4-game road swing. They're at Louisville next. Doesn't get easier. If they can power out of here with 3 points, everything will be right back on track. They'll be sitting 5th in the East. Bethlehem, a point could be massive. They've had late comebacks here before this year. Don't want to count them out yet. Starikov got ridden down.
That's the one thing that the Steel have shown all season long is resilience and fight. Hasn't always come off.
The flick on, falls short. Nanko trying to tee this up. Serves it back, runners coming. Box loaded for Bethlehem. Real. That'll scurry up the mountain. Corner. Moar slides into the ground. Ferreira making his first appearance since April. Able to knock this out. Now McInerney's off to the races. Overrun by Yarrow. Starikov, McInerney lifting. Good combination play.
Great play between those two players. Trying to start the counterattack. Patience. Realizing the shot wasn't going to be on. Starikov waiting till his support came to keep possession well up the field. Steinberger conceding the throw and not wanting to concede the goal kick.
McInerney, Starikov overrun. May have put his arm to that too. Halfway through stoppage time.
Referee looked like he was going to blow for a foul. Ends up blowing his whistle because I think one of the Indy 11 players is cramping up. A lot of hands to knees, Mike.
Watson helping to stretch this out a little bit. Lifted toward Fawn Williams.
All too easy. Had to go central. No width offered by the forward players for the steal.
Steinberger away from Skundrich. Bethlehem home again against the team beneath them in the standings on Sunday at 5 p.m. here at Goodman Stadium, ATL UTD2.
I'm glad you say that because there's no way I get my tongue around it.
Branding is important, Matt. ATL UTD2 can't wait to bring their brand to the Lehigh Valley on Sunday.
Branding is important, but if I try to say that, they'll probably come out and sound completely rude or something. I'll just go with Atlanta United too.
It's counterintuitive. Well, it will be a corner. Indy 11 trying to see this thing out. They're on the verge. Goal kick. Well, surely this has to be it for Bethlehem. Should. Well, they won't have another chance here. And a season of team-setting records for Indy 11 continues. Their 5th road win of the year. They move into 5th, the USL's Eastern Conference. McInerney scores against his former organization, and Indy knocks off Bethlehem a goal to 0.
It was Indy 11 that created the better chances throughout the match, and certainly in the second half. And probably because of that, they're deserved winners. Bethlehem still a good team, taking too many touches and around the top of the box. They need to figure things out if they're going to get into the playoff picture.
Well, you had to know it would be him, Jack McInerney. Somehow the only unmarked man in that 18-yard box. He sneaks away and sneaks it inside the post. Indy 11 a 1-0 winner. Wrap it up after this.
Kleckner & Sons asks, what do you want in new appliances? Do you want GE's gas, electric, convection, induction, stainless steel, slate, French door, Energy Star, top load, front load, high efficiency, or huge capacity?
GE and GE Profile appliances are designed to reflect the modern approach to style, with clean lines and a streamlined look for today's kitchens.
At Kleckner & Sons.
It can happen over time or in a snap. If joint or muscle pain has taken you out of the game, we can identify the root cause of your problem and develop a sport-specific treatment plan to get you moving again. Over 400 medical experts strong, the region's only nationally ranked program. That's orthopedics in action at Lehigh Valley Health Network.
Well, Indy 11, a 1-0 winner over Bethlehem. You're going to need umbrellas to avoid that sweltering sun in the Lehigh Valley on camp day. Bethlehem comes up just short on Jack McInerney's goal. Comes in the 86th minute. Matt Stubbington, Mike Watts at full time. Let's take a look at these full-time highlights, shall we?
That was an intriguing game between these two teams. There wasn't a lot of chances. Took a big, brave save from Maguire to thwart Moses on this attempt. Used his face to the goalkeeper, but his technique was faultless. Stood tall, came out quickly. Moses strong in the challenge, gets his left foot to it. And Maguire makes the save. Sonny Saad, he had some great chances created by Watson on this. Right after the halftime break, and Saad there feels he should have done better. Look at the strength, composure, and imagination from Watson to find his teammate. That one really should have been on target. The home team, they created some chances. Sometimes, though, too many touches took away their opportunities. Najim trying to find a way to put that one on target. Had some teammates in the box, maybe could have passed it off. Moving away from goal, always going to be tough to put that one on frame.
Indy 11 charging the other way. Steinberger leading it up. Watson able to help get this through, and that's probably Saad's best chance.
That might have been the best chance of the game, despite the goal. And Steinberger started it off. Watson playing it across. Nice dummy. Saad, the action says it all. He knows that one should have been on target. Nanko was a spark coming on. That was the best chance for the home side from distance. The goalkeeper, Fon Williams, had to be quick and smart down to the near post. Strongly out for the corner kick. And then somehow, some way, McInerney, the substitute, gets free in the goal area, right at the penalty spot. It looked like Mitchell was in the right place, his defender, to stop the runs of players coming to mark McInerney, but you can't fault the quality of the header. Puts it out of the reach of Maguire. And Apodaca near the death. Couldn't find a way to put this one on frame. Great team effort. Movement of the ball into the near post area. Apodaca couldn't open his hips enough to challenge the goal of Fon Williams.
In the end, Fon Williams makes 4 saves in his 8th shutout of the season. But this is a game that could have gone either way by the time it finished.
It could have gone either way, but I think, again, Indy 11, they created the more dangerous opportunities. Saad had the 2 that we saw in the highlight package there that should have been on frame. Bethlehem still, they're a good team. They get into the attacking third. Too many touches, not enough players in and around the box to pass the ball off to, thwarted their opportunities, and consequently, they come out the loser today.
And both coaches talked about experience being key today. Indy 11 had it in spades, and Bethlehem falls a goal to nil. How about ATL UTD 2 coming Sunday, July 29th? Lehigh Valley, they're struggling a little bit right now. Nashville knocked them off. Bethlehem needs to get right back on the horse.
It's a very important game. You've got to beat the teams around you and below you in the league if you are going to make that playoff push. So the pressure really is on Bethlehem still to take care of business on Sunday.
Well, fans waiting for autographs. They're up by the rails at Goodman Stadium. The Bethlehem Steel come up short as they fall goal to nil to Jack McInerney and the Indy 11. A goal to nil as Indy 11 moves to 5th in the Eastern Conference, their 5th road win of the year and the first in what's game 3 of their 4-game road swing. Bethlehem shut out, a rarity, 31 goals this year. They just couldn't figure it out on the day. Concede that one painful goal right before the death. For producer Abel Ponte, director Ryan Rose, Paul Bean, Matt Stubbington alongside Mike Watts saying thanks for watching. Indy 11 is a winner over Bethlehem, finishes 1 goal to nil. Good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.